What is up, guys? Jeff here today, and we are going to talk about changes that Call of Duty could possibly make to their gameplay and why they haven't made any changes for a while, and if they kind of should, because people have been kind of scared to see if they should change a formula that's been so successful. So let's go ahead and get right into it. When you have as much success as Call of Duty does and had in the past, obviously you're going to be pretty afraid to change up the basic gameplay mechanics and ways that they've played with map layouts and player sizes and all that stuff. But we've seen a lot less success recently, and maybe it's time for them to start considering to change things, or for the fans to consider to be more open to changes, because that's also a big reason why there hasn't been many changes to this franchise, is that the diehard fans maybe aren't really ready for a change, and they buy Call of Duty because they want to play Call of Duty. They don't want to play Battlefield or Titanfall. Maybe they do, but still we have those other games for those other modes. But that doesn't mean you can't take aspects of those games and maybe create a really cool game in itself and a totally new feel. So I picked this map on purpose on Modern Warfare Remastered because it's one of the largest maps in this game and one of the larger maps in Call of Duty. As you can see, I'm doing alright here and killing a lot of people, but I haven't ran into someone for the last how many seconds. And that's because we have such low player counts. And yeah, I know I could be playing this on Ground War, but that's hard to do when you put a ton of players on small maps or a decent amount of players on big maps to actually find that balance. And that's just one thing that I really think Call of Duty should look that really wouldn't change it very much, but maybe make it really fun, is have a little bit bigger maps like this, or even slightly bigger, and add more players. They're completely capable of doing it. They have the money to do this. It's not like the game can't handle it. Battlefield can run 64. Sony's MAG game back on PS3 ran 256, which, yes, it had lag and some stuff like that, but it still worked, and I still played it, and I had fun with that. So it's completely possible to do, and they just haven't wanted to change it. They haven't wanted to change the 6v6 and the 9v9 for a long time. I don't really know why. I feel like it adds a whole level of depth when you have larger maps and more enemies. You can kind of sometimes even go on longer kill streaks because of that, because not everyone knows exactly where you are, or you can find a really good position when you see like a bunch of people approaching you. Like that's happened to me on Battlefield many times. I was overlooking a flag. Excuse me. I had a DMR sniper. Well, DMR is not really sniper, but rifle. And like 10 guys came up to this flag, and I was just hidden behind a rock. And so I started picking off the guys in the back first, so they wouldn't see me. I actually like thought this through, and I ended up killing like all of them. And it was crazy and ridiculous and really fun. And this could happen in Call of Duty gameplay if they were willing to expand. And it's really something that I think that fans should be debating and talking about to see, do we want to see changes? Do we want to see a little bit bigger maps and bigger player sizes? Do you want to maybe have some vehicles in multiplayer? I know this sounds very Battlefield-esque, but it's something that needs to be considered and looked at. Call of Duty sales have been going down recently. They've been trying to add in the new movement systems and the Future S to change it up because it feels too the same. But like, why? We have eras that we like. Modern Warfare's proven that we love that, and it's proven that we love World War II. If you want to change it up, maybe you can have one year you release the classic 6v6 and 9v9 style, and then the next year you release a like bigger style and maybe have some vehicles in it. I feel like those are way better changes to make than to go add jetpacks and stuff like that. That just isn't even this further from Call of Duty than tanks and vehicles and larger maps. And it'd be such a cool feel, I think. And so I want to hear what you guys think, if you are open to changes and you think they should, or if they should stay very similar, the same sort of gameplay. So whatever you think, you can leave a comment down below on your opinion. But it just, even playing team deathmatch on Battlefield has slightly larger maps. We don't always have the 3-lane system, which, yes, the 3-lane system is good, but after having that for like 10 years, it gets kind of repetitive and gets kind of boring, and sometimes you don't want to always just run into little 1v1s or 1v2s. What if you want to be like in a house or have a little more cover like this, and you see like 5 people outside and you're like, oh man, what do I do? And you come up with your best way to try to eliminate them, or maybe you decide to even just hide and let them pass and maybe pick off a couple guys at the end. It adds such a layer of depth, and I think that's the real key here, is depth to the game and changes. And while Call of Duty has a really fun infantry focused over Battlefield, I think they could capitalize that on that and still implement some aspects of other games that have been successful. And we just haven't seen them make any changes for a long time, and that's partially because a lot of the fans have been scared of it, and then the developers, obviously they're not going to spend money changing a formula if they're still making a lot of money. So now that it's making less, maybe they'll be more open to changing up the game, spending the time and the money in development, and giving us a whole new feel. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. I think that'd be really exciting. I personally love Battlefield and I love Call of Duty, but I do love infantry fighting a little bit more than vehicles, so I'd be a little more hesitant to have vehicles, but vehicles could also add some depth to it too. But I also know that Call of Duty can get kind of tiring and repetitive, and that this could just open up huge new better map design, so we won't just have to have strictly 3-lane, more action, more cool situations, and more situations where it's not just turn the corner and see who kills the person next or first. Alright, I'll see you guys later.